if Steve Kerr wins his fifth ring, where does that put him ranked next to Greg Popovich?
Mm.
Because that like Steve Kerr has like slid under the radar, but Steve Kerr's the best coach in the league right now. And
Yeah.
it's not even close. He's been able to keep this team relevant. Sure, they struggled in the first game, but the Warriors have in the past. They fell down 2-1 versus the Celtics and came back. They got obliterated by the Celtics in the first game of the finals and were still able to come back and win. That was Wiggins' first game back. Gary Payton Jr. looked really good. They've been able to plug in talent seemingly from everywhere. Dante DiVincenzo looks amazing after
Yes.
being an outcast in the NBA, and they plugged that guy in. And it'd be like when Greg Popovich would just plug a guy in, where it's like we really have a system where we elevate all the players around us, and that's what Steve Kerr has been able to do. And Mark Jackson did a great job setting the foundation. And why doesn't Mark Jackson have another job? Like, it's definitely the biggest
The
crime in the
mystery.
NBA right now, but I feel like it's definitely time for Steve Kerr to be put up there as like, okay, he is right up there with some of the greatest coaches. And he also won 5 rings as a player, and now he has
6.
6 rings as a player. So now he has 10 rings and he could have an 11th. That's Phil Jackson level territory.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's like for him, it's the way he can mesh the egos. I mean, you have someone like Draymond,
Yeah.
who's an instigator, who can be kind of a bully. You got a Steph Curry, who's kind of a chill guy, and then a Kevin Durant player who's, known as being sensitive. All the egos that he's had to mesh with, the fact that he's had the amount of success that he's had to start. Also funny to think that he almost was a Knick head coach and how different of a trajectory he could have had. But I mean, we're talking about greatest coaches of the last decade. Who do you think of? I think of right away Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra. Those are the two big ones that you think about. And then, there's other coaches that deserve a nomination, but
Yeah.
like those two have really dominated. I mean, the Heat, some of the rosters that they've had no business making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy Butler, everyone respects Jimmy Butler, but nobody puts him in the same conversation as Kawhi, as Kevin Durant, as LeBron, as Giannis, as Embiid. You get the idea.
Yeah.
So Eric Spoelstra, and I think it's Eric Spoelstra and Steve Kerr that
Yeah.
deserve the most flowers of the last decade.
Yeah, definitely. And then I feel like Spoelstra, to be a coach where LeBron comes in there skeptical of you, like he was with David Blatt, and then you just stay in there as a young head coach and just stay there and prove yourself to LeBron James. You win 2 finals with LeBron, and then you get to a finals with Jimmy Butler, pull the best out of him. And then Steve Kerr, though, 4 rings, definitely the most dominant coach right now. And then just the coaching tree that he's already produced around the league. I feel like Mike Brown is definitely a coach who speaks volumes from Steve Kerr's staff, and then bringing in other coaches like Kenny Atkinson after he got fired for the Nets, and then always keeping his staff really good. And then Mike Brown took one of the Warriors trainers with him. They were talking about how he was putting De'Aaron Fox through some of Steph Curry's workouts. So it's like he has a good little tree right now going on. So I feel like Steve Kerr definitely feels more like the Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan to Phil Jackson's Andy Reid.